Welcome to Sun Identity Management Buzz TV.
Hi, and welcome to Identity Management Buzz TV. I'm Daniel Raskin, your host, and a Senior Product Line Manager here at Sun, working on identity products, specifically Access Manager and Federation Manager. And I'm here with Rajeev Angal, who's a architect here at Sun, also working on Access and Federation. And what we'd like to talk to you about today is the concept of access management. We're calling the story of rebirth and redemption. And really we wanted to bring this up because access management has been a really quick evolving market, and things have changed. And I'm not sure a lot of people have realized what kind of changes have gone on there. So I think first what we're going to talk about is maybe where access management was and where it's going.
Right. So where it was pretty much confined within an enterprise. And
okay.
it solved an extremely important problem of single sign-on.
Yep.
Within the enterprise, where employees go to different applications within an enterprise and have to just remember one password. So password proliferation was essentially what single sign-on solves. Right? And so it was about centralized authentication, centralized authorization, all enterprise-wide, and catering to about 50 to 100,000. That's the number of employees that you have in a typical enterprise.
Right. So focused on internal single sign-on, maybe smaller deployments, not requiring significant amounts of scalability, simplification.
Yes.
You know,
centralization.
Yep. So and I guess some of the changes, and that's what we're really calling access management before federation.
True.
Next phase is access management AF or after federation.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
what's different
So
there?
basically, the enterprises have, in effect, become inside out, right? You have to deal with partners, you have to deal with suppliers, and so on, right? And you can't build all the applications yourself, so you outsource applications.
Right.
So the enterprise, it's not just everything is not within the enterprise anymore, but things have gone out.
Right.
And therefore, the access control problem, the security problem becomes an order of magnitude higher in that sense, and therefore the before the stuff that we talked in the before federation doesn't work that very well, because that tends to be much more proprietary in nature.
Right.
What you really need is a more standard-based way of single signing on, for example, right? At the basic level. That's what we call federation, and to be able to do business with other partners in a secure fashion when you don't necessarily own that application.
So you hit on a couple of really important points there, because what you're talking about is now creating more service for an organization. In other words, extending reach so that they can get services from more and more partners.
Yes.
And in order to do that, you have to standardize to have repetitive kind of onboarding, scalable onboarding. You need scalability if you're turning it to the extranet. I think you kind of hit on a lot of great
what I was doing, is that now you have 50,000 users, all of a sudden become pretty much more or less millions of users. Like a typical telco has to deal with that many users now, right? And the security has to work across all these users, not just within the applications that you provide, but also applications that you serve to your customers through other partners.
Right. So if you think about that from a business perspective, it's now shifting from just internal optimization, simplification. You're now actually talking about helping a business drive its revenue.
Absolutely.
It's not just about cost savings, but more service to
more
offer
service
customers,
and differentiations, and more.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a pretty powerful change in the market. So what about, so essentially what we're saying is it's more important in a lot of ways, because it's driving more service, more scalability, more repeatability, more revenue, and all of that adds up to access management post-federation.
True.
So when we talk about Sun solution, why don't you tell us a little bit about where Sun is playing in the space and what we offer?
So Sun offers federation, access management, everything that we talked about today is available in a single product.
Okay,
right?
so when we say that, it's access management, federation, web services, security, identity services.
REST services, everything, APIs, application development, anything to do with security is all provided in a single product. Sun. And once you deploy the product, you pretty much turn on or off certain features that you need and go along with that. Versus with our competition, for example, you typically have to install at least 3 or 4 products to get to the level that we have.
So in a sense, we're going back to our classic Java roots. It's one self-contained Java application. You deploy one file. You have one license.
Yes.
One process running. One self-contained Java EE application.
Yes, and that scales horizontally and vertically. Like any web application.
Okay. Right? So that must have some impact in terms of ease of use and whatnot as well.
Yes. So we are adding basically, say, identity web services, some bells and whistles around our core offering to make it much more easier through an IDE, or the application development itself has become much more easier now.
Right.
Integrating an existing application, because there's a lot of legacy out there.
Right.
And we as a product team have spent a lot of time in making sure that legacy applications are also brought into the fold,
right,
to get equal. So you don't necessarily have to build your application ground up.
Yeah, I think you hit on another interesting point earlier too, which is when you shift to access management after federation, access management AF, what we're really talking about is a scalability beyond what we've seen in the past.
Yes.
And so not all solutions are necessarily going to be prepared for an extranet-facing solution. And so it's very interesting when you take our solution and you think about our directory server, or, our user provisioning tools. I mean, it's optimized for both vertical and horizontal scaling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's great. Well, I really appreciate your taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you very much.
And I thank you for tuning in to today's session of the Identity Management Buzz. And we'll be speaking to you again soon. Take care.